Can the ideas in Atomic Habits, the best-selling book by James Clear, be used to help increase our donations for our nonprofit or cause? I think so. In this video, I'm going to share some key takeaways from Atomic Habits that we can use to increase the success of our fundraisers. Welcome back. My name is Amber Melanie Smith. I'm a nonprofit founder and executive director who makes these videos here on YouTube to help people who are on their own journey of making an impact, whether that's through starting a nonprofit or a social enterprise or volunteering in their community and more. As always, I hope that you find this video helpful and useful. Don't forget to give it a like and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. I also have a website, foundertofulltime.com, where you can find some online trainings all about starting a nonprofit and developing a sustainable fundraising plan. So be sure to check those out too. I love a good self-improvement book. And so I listened to Atomic Habits by James Clear as an audiobook last year, and I really loved how it made changing your life feel more accessible and less overwhelming. If you're not familiar with this book, you should definitely check it out. It's basically, as described by the author James Clear, a practical guide on how to change your habits and improve your situation by making things 1% better every day. 1% sounds like such a small, manageable amount, right? And that's the whole point of this book. It's to talk about how instead of focusing on making sweeping changes, just making tiny changes every day can lead to greater success over the long term. Because when you try for sweeping changes, they're so big, they're so overwhelming, and it can feel demoralizing, and you're more likely to quit sooner, just like you might quit after a really big New Year's resolution. I also love to connect the dots between different ideas and different industries and sectors, and so I started thinking to myself, how might we apply the lessons here in Atomic Habits to nonprofit success, and specifically in this case, fundraising? I really think there's something here, so I'm going to go through 3 key takeaways from Atomic Habits, and let's think together about how we might apply these takeaways to increasing donations and our fundraising success for our nonprofits and causes. All right, let's get into it. Lesson 1 is that small habits make a big difference. Here's what I think about how this applies to fundraising. I think a lot of people, especially, who are newer to fundraising or are starting out in fundraising, they have this vision in their heads that fundraising is all about finding that magical donor who's just going to give you $100,000 and then all your problems will be solved and you'll be able to do everything you ever wanted to do. But the reality is that building up a donor base takes time, and it's often a lot of smaller donations that help you build up the revenue that you have as a nonprofit in order to be able to accomplish your goals. So the name of the game here is you've got to build up a lot of relationships, a lot of connections into the community, and have a large potential pool of people you could ask for money, because only a percentage of those people are going to give you money. So the more connections you have, the more potential donors you have, and then the more actual donors you have. So I think improving your fundraising success and increasing your donations here is all about thinking about this improving by 1% concept, right? So Clear, the author, argues improving by 1% isn't particularly notable. Sometimes it isn't even noticeable. But it can be far more meaningful, especially in the long run. The difference a tiny improvement can make over time is astounding. Here's how the math works out. This is Clear explaining how this works. If you can get 1% better each day for 1 year, you'll end up 37 times better by the time you're done. Conversely, if you get 1% worse each day for 1 year, you'll decline nearly down to 0. What starts as a small win or a minor setback accumulates into something much more. So let's think about a couple of examples of small things you can do in the realm of fundraising to increase your odds of finding those donors and finding some of those bigger donors and keeping the donors that you do have once you get them. One easy example I can think of is thank you notes. It's a very small act, seemingly, but that appreciation and recognition of your donor can go a long way in building that trust and building that personal relationship. Another example would be to present your mission to one group per week. The idea here is that you need to grow your network of people that your organization knows, because like I said before, within that network are all your potential donors and then a smaller pool of people who will actually donate. So you need to be growing your people, your connections all the time. Presenting to one group per week as a goal could help you do that. Let's just look at some more math as an example to hopefully get you excited about this idea of setting a small goal. Let's say you present to one group a week and each group has, let's say, 20 people in it. That means that within a year, 52 weeks, you'll have reached over 1,000 people. Now, let's say just 5% of those people go on to become donors, like 52 people. And they each become a donor at $20 per month, a recurring donation basis. That means that you'll have raised $12,000 for the year. Now, $12,000 isn't a huge amount of money, but for a brand new startup organization, that can help you make significant strides. And not only that, you've hopefully built a relationship with these 52 donors, and that first year isn't going to be the only year that they donate. It will be recurring revenue that you can build upon each year. Lesson number 2 that I think we can apply to fundraising from Atomic Habits is to forget about setting goals and focus on setting systems instead. So here's what this means, and this is a really interesting concept that I've also been able to apply in my own life and really enjoy that. So Clear talks about the differences between goals and systems, and here's what he says. Goals are about the results you want to achieve, so lose 10 pounds or something like that. Systems are about the processes that lead to those results. So instead of having a goal of losing 10 pounds, you might say, I'm going to create an environment or schedule in which I walk every day. So the system, walking every day, is inevitably going to lead to that goal that you set before. So like I said, it's all about creating an environment or a schedule or a routine for yourself that, or in this case for your organization, that makes it easier or even seamless to achieve your goals. You want to focus on removing the barriers or the friction to achieve your goals. In my personal life, one example is I wanted to make sure that I was drinking enough water every day. And so one thing I started doing was every night before I go to bed, I fill up a glass of water and I put it on my desk. That completely removed the barriers to me getting started on drinking enough water the next day, because the very next day I already had the water on my desk. All I had to do is literally pick it up and drink it. I didn't have to go get a glass. I didn't have to go find water. I didn't have to do any of that. It was just ready for me. And as a result of this, I now for a couple of years have routinely started my day with a glass of water, which I'm certain has improved my hydration goals. So now applying this to fundraising, what can we do to remove the barriers, remove the friction between someone who might want to support your organization and their actual act of making a donation? I think for this, we can look at the 4 laws of behavior change that James Clear talks about in the book, and I'll show the graph of these 4 laws here on screen as well. The goal here is to help our potential donors become actual donors and then stay donors through a habit of donating to your cause. So just like the drinking water example, there could be barriers in the way preventing people from easily making a donation. You want to remove all of those barriers to the best of your ability. And if someone still doesn't donate, that's fine, that's their choice, but at least it wasn't because of some barrier that existed between them and making a donation for your cause. So let's look at the 4 laws of behavior change and think about how they could apply to removing barriers for people to become donors to your organization. So the 4 laws are cue, craving, response, and reward. It's a cycle, right? This is all about habit creation. So the first law is cue. You want to make it obvious how and where to donate. So is it easy to figure out where on your website someone can make a donation? That is the first thing I would take a look at for this law of creating a donation habit. Is it easy? All right, second law, craving. Is it attractive? You want to make it attractive. Is the language that you use on your website to describe your mission, is it compelling? Is it easy to understand? Does someone have to think really hard to be clear on what you do? Having to think too hard about what your mission is, that is a barrier to donating. No one's going to donate if they don't understand what you're doing and why they need to donate to you. And then, is it attractive in a very literal sense? Are the pages where people can donate, are the buttons leading to making a donation, are they visually obvious, and are they appealing? The third law of behavior change here is response. So you want to make it easy. Is the technology that you use to facilitate donations easy to use? Is it mobile friendly? Let's say I want to make a donation, but I'm on my phone and your website is not mobile friendly and I'm having a really frustrating experience figuring out how to make a donation and the pages are all misaligned and it doesn't look good on my mobile phone. I literally might not make a donation because of that. If it's too frustrating of an experience, I might think to myself, oh, I'll try later, and then I might forget. You want to remove all the barriers between someone who wants to give you their money and the act of giving you their money. Another part of this is, are you counting on people to remember to make a donation all on their own? They're not going to. People are very busy. They have other things going on in their lives. So you need to remember to ask them for donation. You need to remind them regularly why you need it and what it's going to support and how easy it is to make that donation. The fourth law here is reward. So they've taken the actions. Now you need some kind of positive reinforcement, right? So make it satisfying to donate. What happens after someone donates? Do they hear about the impacts of their donation from you? Do they receive a thank you note or email? You really want to figure out ways to reinforce the positive behavior of donating by making it feel satisfying when they do. Lesson 3 from Atomic Habits and how we can apply it to nonprofit fundraising is build identity-based habits. This one is my favorite, I think, because clear connects habits to a person's identity, saying every action is a vote for the kind of person you want to be. That is so true, because when you act in accordance to your values, you feel aligned, you feel like you are living your identity. And when you act against those values, you feel off, you feel weird and icky. So people prefer to act in ways that match their values and their identity. So how do we apply this to fundraising? I think psychologically, people will do some kind of action because it reinforces their vision of who they want to be or who they think that they are, their identity. And so your job as a nonprofit leader or fundraiser is to demonstrate to a person how supporting your cause aligns with and furthers their identity and their beliefs about themselves. So if they believe in a value of fairness, for example, then perhaps your nonprofit that combats inequality is a great fit, because you can be like, hey, it's not fair how these people are not treated the same as others. Your support can help us work towards a world in which all people are treated fairly. So you're matching their values with the values of your organization and showing how their support can further their own identity of themselves. Another thing you can do with this concept is develop your target audiences. One of the easiest ways to build up a donor base with this philosophy is finding the people who already have identities that align with your cause, who are going to be an easy fit for you. If you are an animal welfare organization, perhaps a meetup group of vegetarians could be a great fit for supporting your cause. There's obviously some kind of alignment there. So finding those people who are already likely to have an identity that aligns with your mission and your cause is one easy way to apply this philosophy. Another one is to help people see, like I kind of alluded to before, how things they believe in, their values, how they align with your mission and your cause. So Clear says, to change your behavior for good, you need to start believing new things about yourself. So how can we help potential donors believe new things about themselves that inspire them to donate? First, I would say, is to help make sure they understand how their donations matter. You can do this by showcasing the impacts their donations are making, all of the wonderful things you're able to accomplish with the money, giving them updates on this, making them feel like part of the journey, asking for their feedback and input. These are all some of the ways that you can help reinforce the fact that their support matters. I think there are so many more ways you could apply Atomic Habits to the nonprofit world and to fundraising, but those are the 3 I wanted to talk to you about and share with you today. Have you read Atomic Habits? I would love to hear some of your thoughts in the comments below. Can you think of more ways you would apply it to the nonprofit world or to fundraising, or have you already? Definitely share your thoughts. Once again, if you are in the process of starting a nonprofit or developing a sustainable fundraising plan, check out my website, foundertofulltime.com, where I have 2 online courses, one about starting a nonprofit, the other about how to develop a sustainable fundraising plan that can really help you get started on those 2 things. Next, I have a newsletter for changemakers and nonprofit leaders where I send out resources and funding opportunities that I come across and other things. Definitely check that out. You can subscribe using the link below this video and opt out anytime you like. And third, I have a Facebook group called Change the World or Bust. We've got thousands of people in there from all over the world talking about how they're making an impact and encouraging each other. So I hope you can join us there too. That's all I got for you today. My name's Amber Melanie Smith, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.